Welcome back to the Welcome to the Far Side podcast. Ow! It is I, your host, banging his knee on his desk, Austin, your favorite of the high priests. I apologize for being late with uploads and things recently. Trying to cover some, big stories in the news, and I think in doing that, as well as I would say trying to have constructive conversations in the comment section of the Free Press. Did Barry Weiss buy it because free was in the name? Or is that joke getting me on a watch list already? Pretty sure me just being like, hey guys, I think this propaganda you're putting out is just that, obvious propaganda. It's indelicate, bad propaganda too. It's not even good propaganda. Like so many Free Press articles where you read it, you're just like, this feels like it was written by a 21-year-old liberal arts major. Like none of this is based in reality. It's based in someone's fantasy of how they wish reality to go. Granted, that is propaganda. That is what propaganda is in a nutshell. It is a state-based fantasy for how things should go in the country or whatever. And let's just say the whole Israel, we're going to do a little housekeeping stuff because I don't think I can talk about this before the 8-minute mark, or I will be completely shadow banned into full-blown oblivion. I mean, that's why I haven't uploaded the last 3-4 episodes I recorded, partly because talking about this, say the dog abuse of Palestinian prisoners story that the New York Times ran, I tried to upload that video a couple times, and one where I read the actual article and kind of broke it down, which I'm not going to do again because it's basically heinous description of sexual violence after heinous description of sexual violence. And if I'm pretty sure I'm already struggling within whatever the algorithm is, because I'm saying things that the algorithm does not want people to know or whatever. Poorly produced podcast. I'm not really marketing very much. This is my third job. If we're doing more marketing on this one, I need help. If you happen to know anyone that is looking to do some podcast producing work, please send me a DM on Instagram. Welcome to the Farside IG. That would be most helpful. It would allow me to focus on the the algorithmic tea leaves that I am so trying to source for you all. And yes, we're wearing a slightly different get up today. It's just, it's getting close to summer. My birthday's here in a couple weeks time, whatever thing. And I just wanted to wear a robe. It felt like it was robe o'clock, and here we are with a robe instead of a cloak. Hard to wear cloaks in the summer. It is hard to wear cloaks in the summer. That said, one of the cloaks I have is actually perfect for the summer because of how billowy it is. The more layers of fabric your cloak has, the more it acts like a I don't know what they're called, but the things that the people wear in the Middle East, not the women but the men, or I guess both. It's a similar thing where it creates this updraft or pocket of cooler or warmer air that actually kind of keeps you in a more temperate situation than if you were just more bare skinned to the elements. I digress. So I'd upload those videos, and normally when you upload a YouTube video, it'll process your video for maybe an hour. If it's an hour-long video, usually it's somewhere around the runtime of your video. Sometimes I've had videos that you go in and they go for the scrubbing, and 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it's completely processed. All right, cool. The ones that I've been trying to upload recently will process for 6 to 12 hours. That's completely abnormal. I've been doing this for a couple years now. That is completely abnormal. It's one thing if you have a slow computer and you're uploading it and that's taking a long time. That could take 6 to 12 hours. I mean, the computer that I was using last, it would take almost 18 hours to upload a 1-ish hour video. Granted, that's a 9-year-old laptop. It's gonna do 9-year-old laptop things. I am not sponsored by Olipop. Although I did take it personally when my cousin mentioned that they have a weird aftertaste. I don't know. I think actual soda tastes weird because it's been genetically engineered by scientists to be as crazily good as possible. And I don't think that's good for people. Okay. 1 sec. And we're back. Thank you for your patience with me and this process. So I try and upload it, and it 6+ hours of processing. I was like, no way I'm uploading this. I'm obviously talking way too much about this particular topic. And this is essentially a labor of love. It is going out to a relatively limited audience. Hi guys and gals. Thank you. What's up? Hi. How you doing? I hope you are well. Thank you for tuning in. You're a treasure. Be kind to yourself. I know for a fact if you're watching this podcast, if you're part of my audience, you are probably way too hard on yourself. Do me a favor this weekend, next week, birthday present to your favorite parasocial podcaster. Just like be nice to yourself for a few days. You can do it. I know you can. Be nice to yourself. Let someone else beat you up for a change. Hey, there you go. So, yeah, it's also, I think this podcast medium and the way it's going like this is on the outs. So if someone wants to come in and help me with figuring out a streaming setup or something like that, doing more of an internet variety show, I think that would be good. Especially if they could help me deal with some of the technical issues that have mysteriously popped up after I started arguing with people in the Free Press's comment section. And then, of course, the day after that, they're putting something up about how, like, internet bullying is never the answer and it's never okay. You're trying to whitewash, like, ethnic cleansing and serious abuse of prisoners, which, last I checked, is a war crime. So, and then, of course, all these people who are, like, commenting, you really get a sense for how, there's a lot of brainwashing that goes on in the U.S. to make people slaves to their political parties the way that they are. And I think we kind of, we're going to split this onion a little bit. Because on one hand, I know enough people that have worked in the government on local level or national level that to say America is a monoparty is inaccurate in, like, 80% of the pyramid. And there's a 20% of the pyramid up top, absolutely monoparty. But there is an actual, like, political tug of war that goes on in this country on the middle level. And I mean, it's really corrupt. The more you learn about it, the more we need to get rid of lobbying, especially from multinational interests or multinational corporations. Probably solve a lot of problems. It's also part of the capture to keep people from focusing too hard on the people up at the top. Like recently, Sam Altman and a couple of these other AI nerds are walking back their prediction for how many of the jobs are going to be completely taken over. And for me, frankly, they were rubbing it in our faces that they were going to take over the most, like, aspirational businesses first, that they were going to take over the arts, that they were going to take over entertainment, that they were even going to take over podcasting. That was sort of just like, fuck you guys. The one thing that makes your lives, like, bearable in the late stage capitalism, early stage techno-feudalism, really it's corporate feudalism, that we weren't, like, stoked about that all the shit posting everyone was doing was not actually, like, shit posting. In fact, it was actually like people being there's a sociological phenomena that, like, when you push people to the brink, the things they say at a certain point you should take them kind of seriously at, because they're letting you know that, hey, it's not going to go so good if you guys keep crossing that line. And I think Sam Altman goes and asks his AI God genius Jesus thing, hey, what are the rabble going to do if we take away 90% of jobs and turn them into some sort of battery for, attention and the economy of attention? And I think the AI just went, they will kill you. Like, they will amass, and this will snowball in such a radical way that it will be looked back on in history hilariously as like the least communist popular uprising. I could see that happening. I digress. By the way, there's a massive truck going by right now. Good God. I really need to not be doing this in an office. By the way, it was funny. One of my family members was like, oh yeah, I'm getting stuff out of the back. I'm getting stuff out of the office. What? Every time I go back there, there's more shit. What are you talking about? So, gotta make do with the space I got. Cement, glass, cement, glass. Can't imagine why my audio's fucked some days. So a lot of Americans are brainwashed into the system, and they think it's actually, this completely split, separated two-party thing. But when you look at the money, when you look at what actually gets passed and moves forward in our country, there is much more of a, hey, look, you're allowed to argue about these issues. We actually want you to focus on these issues, because the more you guys focus on abortion versus pro-choice, or, no abortion, the more that we can tighten the noose around your neck, the more that we can wrap you in this debtor's prison and not call you a debtor, the more that we can treat you like a serf and tell you, hey, it's fine because you can go surfing. It's good. And it's like, look, the quality of life that we are able to have is wonderful. It's kingly compared to where people used to be. I mean, I'm drinking this Olipop like some sort of wizard. Truly, go back a couple 100 years, 400 years. Go to my ancestors, be like, one day you will have a forebear, a wizard on the digital internet, playing with the minds and the hearts and the emotions of people from afar. But they see directly his face, and they laugh tidily. Actually, who knows if y'all are laughing or not. One of the downsides of doing the double black diamond version of podcasting, which is by yourself in a room for an extended period of time, gabbing, yapping, talking. Oh, boy. Ooh, baby, I love the way. Ooh, baby, I love the way. So, America, we've been deeply conditioned into this two-party system, into this work hard, play hard, focus on your 9 to 5, then, have weekend warrior activities that really fulfill you and make you feel like your time in, the 9 to 5 or the 12 to 12 or whatever, worth it. And sometimes you look around and you go, shit, this isn't that worth it. And then they come out with a new technology that completely steals us from ourselves for, X amount of time. And what do you know? There we go. Like the new one, rdmaxxing. We'll get there. But like that one bothers me so much because on one hand, it's good advice. It's a rebranded Stoicism. I would argue a circumcised Stoicism. And some people are going to hear circumcised Stoicism and go, oh, that must mean Jewish Stoicism. It's like, no, I'm not telling you to hold fast in terms of risky investments. I'm telling you to check to see what's been cut off the top of the Stoicism that they are currently marketing and selling to you. And what they are taking off the top, the foreskin that they are removing, the connective tissue, the best part, the most pleasurable end bit, protective really for the penis, in fact, is community, that or friendship, that there's in Stoicism, part of why you should maintain a stoic attitude is so that you can best serve your community, so that you can best serve your people, your family, your village, your nation, whatever it is, that you have some call to civic duty, civil service, whatever, charitable acts, and that by remaining stoic, you aren't swayed by things that might be coming at you, say like angry barbarians that might want to stab you, or some criminal that might want to stab you. One thing that's very important to remember about Stoicism is it was invented by people who were like a bad reaction away from either stabbing or getting stabbed all the time. That's where Stoicism comes from. So when you remove the stabby stab elements, it kind of just becomes this weird like self-gaslighting thing of pathologizing every like unlicensed or unapproved feeling about a thing that's happening in our lives. They're just like, well, just be stoic about it. It's like at a certain point, no, I'm pretty upset about the Epstein files and the releases and the revelations all therein, that no one has been really meaningfully prosecuted in the United States. No one's going to be meaningfully prosecuted in the United States, sadly. They were watching the president, who has, to quote one comic, I'm blanking on her name, but she was really funny. I think it's Maddie something. Trump, Epstein, and Clinton have more photos together than me, my mom, and my dad. And it's like, yeah, I think everyone heard, if you heard that joke, you're like, actually, yes. Like, how the hell did this happen? That these guys, these freaking pedovores running around cannibalizing children on islands, why are these guys in so many photos together? I mean, what the hell? How come I don't have any, like, solid male friendships? I don't think I have a photo with me and any like male friends for quite a while. Like outside of like a selfie that gets snapped of like one of us like poker, like I don't think there's like a staged photo of me with any friends. If you have it, let me know. But yeah, I think most guys, unless you are like a photo junkie or you're very extroverted, you probably don't have as many photos of yourself on the internet as Jeffrey Epstein does. That should say something about the prolific nature in which this was being rubbed in our faces. So it's that divide and conquer kind of thing. The more you make Americans fight Americans, the easier it is for the American super government, deep state, whatever you wish to call kind of the blob that exists past elected politicians, the more career civil servants that we have, speaking of Stoicism. And in Israel, it seems like the way that they do that is like the way that they kind of capture the average citizen to focus their energy on aims that are, quote, good for the country, is through the extinction event of the Holocaust, the pogroms of the 1800s, and the many times in which Jews were exiled or kicked out of a country. There is a common theme online of people looking back at some of these things and, to be fair, ignoring a lot of historical realities and accuracies of such things. Yes, Jews were often the moneylenders. Yes, also a lot of kings got into debt with the Jews. And yes, a lot of kings thought, hey, it's easier to just get rid of the moneylenders than it is to pay back the money. Why? I'm the fucking king. I have the weapons. I have the army. What that kind of ignores is the amount of kings that like basically borrowed that debt and money to eventually fuck over the moneylender in something that they would call Christian, or they would make up something about blood libel to further cast dispersion on these people. And real quick, guys and gals, gays and theys, you do realize that like I look very Jewish, right? So when people in the free press comment section are trying to accuse me of anti-Semitism, it's like, y'all, my grandmother was hid from the Nazis during World War II because she was a German that looked Jewish. may have had might have been half Italian according to some DNA tests we did. But that keeps going back and forth. I don't trust those DNA tests. But also, I've got the Pele or whatever they're called, the Jewish forelocks. That's just what my hair naturally does according to Jewish tradition. That means that I am close to God or God's word. Hey, if your religion tells me something about how fucking cool I am, you better believe I am taking that into the bank and incorporating it into my own religion. Why? Because I gotta. So, another thing that honestly just makes me a really terrible anti-Semite is I think the second largest group of women I've dated is Jewish women. I think first is California white girls. Second is Jewish women, most of whom are also Californian. And then I think it's a toss-up between Latinas and Asians for third place. Fairly multicultural dating profile situation. But yeah, I have dated and loved many a Jewess. They are wonderful. I do. I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy the playful argumentation. I do not enjoy the serious argumentation. That gets a little rough. But if I'm doing the anti-Semitisms, I'm doing it very badly. Having been in love with more than one Jewish woman. God damn. It's so silly to me because it's guys, you can't move the goalpost so radically in our country where we have free speech, at least for now. Make all these different states that have essentially some version of an anti-Semitism hate speech thing or barring any sort of anti-Semitic speech, but then changing the definition of anti-Semitism to include anti-Zionism. After you spent the last 30, 40 years making us all read Howard Zinn and the People's Republic or all these other alternative kind of history people, these retcon history things. And frankly, I think some of that is really interesting. What is history like from the perspective of victims? That's something we should know. It's something that's very important if you wish to understand history. Because when you just read what is written by the victors, wow, humans are amazingly heroic. Vae victis, vo victis. Woe to the vanquished. And bellum Romanum. War the way the Romans used to do it. Is just a playful way to say total war and ethnic cleansing. Guys, I'm Armenian, at least part on my mother's side. And ethnic cleansing just was the name of the game for a very long time. As an Armenian, I find it kind of funny. I don't know if funny is the wrong word, but there is a humor in this somewhere. There's an irony that what happened to the Armenians at the hands of the Ottoman Turks was so bad, but also it happened to a whitish. If you know Armenians, you kind of know what I'm getting at. Group of people that were genocided by a darker skinned people. So of course, I mean, a lot of air quotes, blah blah blah. But most specifically, a Christian people by a Muslim people. And that upset a bunch of Europeans so much that they had to come up with the word genocide. Because they were like, oh, no, bad. Don't do this. Guys, you want to be King Leopold II and just oh my God, 24 million Congolese people? Or was it more? Was it 48 million? The number is shocking when you look at that level of depravity, destruction. And then the Dutch completely sail past it. They still have, you can go to a Dutch chocolate store in Amsterdam and they have little hands that are out there. Like just little hands, little black chocolate hands. You know what that's a throwback to? People not collecting enough rubber, or people not collecting enough cacao to meet their quota, and then after like their third or fourth time that they didn't fulfill their quota, which was an extreme number. It was an extreme amount of material that you had to harvest to meet this quota, and you know, not everyone could do it for whatever reason. And so they would cut off your fucking hands. And the Dutch today still will sell people chocolate hands. But yes, America is the root of all evil in this world. The Portuguese, I mean, they sailed right past that, and they were the ones that kind of started the colonialism thingy. Them and the Spaniards. I mean, my hot take, y'all have definitely heard it here. You can hear it again. One more. That the Germans in World War I did not, how do I say this delicately? They tried to colonize white people, and the white people were like, no, you don't do that to the white people, you do that to the brown people. And the Germans responded by saying, we can't even get to the brown people. We have to get ocean access. We are a landlocked country in the middle of continental Europe. There are no brown people around us for us to colonize. And so they looked to their north. They were like, hey, you guys colonized a bunch. You guys got like lands in other places. Let's just take you pussies. And the Germans, which were a highly militant state for a very long time, or series of states that became a Uber state, Deutschland über alles, meant to not mean initially Germany above everyone else. It was Germany above the other Prussian states. But it became synonymous with the little mustache guy. A lot of problems with him. A lot of problems. So the Germans were just like, but we could colonize the lowlands, yes? Yeah, we. And they did. And everyone was like, no, we will fight you over this. We're all dying on this hill. And they did. And they did. Whoops. So then part 2, World War II, Germany tries to colonize a bunch more of the white peoples. And the other white peoples were like, no, you don't do this. You just do not do this. But they almost lost. And if it weren't for the U.S. getting in the war, and Russia and Japan making some serious mistakes, and Germany making a bunch of very critical errors in judgment, probably because the Fuhrer was eating a lot of methamphetamine and morphine. Towards the end of the war, because I guess he didn't really drink, Hitler, which is strange. I don't know, you'd think a German ordering all that would be like, I mean, to the gills with schnapps every day. In the same way Churchill was drinking like 3/4 of a pint of whiskey every morning with breakfast, having a cigar and eating eggs. God, it would have been so much fun to be like alive back in the days before we understood like what's bad for your health and why. Because I can't wait to. I mean, we're part of the reason we're dealing with so much anxiety nowadays is because we have some level of knowledge over what actually makes us sick and what's bad for our health. And we look around and it's like, oh, these things are everywhere in our environment. They are literally in all our food, all our drinks. Our taints are getting smaller. We have less of an Adam's apple than we did once upon a time. Sometimes I even forget where my Adam's apple is. But, you know, if you can judge by the hair, I probably got more estrogen than your average guy. Oopsie daisies. So, yeah, the dogs. Israel uses the, hey, this could happen again, this sort of extinction event for our people. And that's a pretty serious problem that I think if you're a country or a group of people looking at an existential problem of how do we continue to stay on this rock, great. That's a circle to square, certainly. However, it is a total war mentality that historically, based on what we know of other total war societies and other total war moments, say like World War II, it enables a lot of really evil people, not even bad people, evil people, to do whatever evil shit they want to do and just say at the end of the day, it's for the good of my nation, it's for the good of my people. So, look at what they did in the Holocaust, the Holodomor, in Poland. It was bad. It was so bad and so brutal and so inefficiently brutal, which is hilarious that the Germans were like, oh my God, the bullet Holocaust that you guys are doing in East and continental Europe, it's way too expensive. We need those bullets to fight. You can't just be capping every single prisoner. Jeez, we can make this more efficient. And as I've had to explain to a couple people, one reason why the 6 million number is the number it is because of things like the bullet Holocaust, accounting that was done after that, and then accounting that was done in the aftermath of the camps getting found out and expelled, where they would be able to see how much Cyclone B and other forms of poisonous gas, basically, how that was totaled up and numbered, and then they could do the very dark, disturbing math on the numbers of the chemicals and how much they were getting to then kind of work backwards from how much they were using and how many people they killed with it. Are there duplicate names out of the 6 million? And, did people get recorded that actually survived? Yeah, the number is probably lower than 6 million. Is it that much lower? Probably not. Again, the scale of death in World War II is something modern people, I just truly don't think, can comprehend unless you had your grandparent that went through that war sitting you down as a child and just being like, you fucking pansy bitch. You little bitch-ass pansy fuck. You know what I had to deal with? I had to deal with getting shot. I had to deal with all these things. Or like us, we usually got some lecture about how if we didn't finish whatever food we were given or not given and forced to scrounge for ourselves, because her grandma was a little nuts, when we would stay with her, sometimes she would just kind of snap after her third glass of wine, and it would be like, oh, the war is back in her head, and she is going to make all of us know. And I've said this once or twice, but I this is one of my deepest memories as a child. Sitting at the kids' table with my grandma and all my other cousins and brothers, and her just looking around at all her dark-haired, dark-eyed, kind of tan children, basically not like German Aryan white kids. And she just looked at all of us and goes, all of you would have gone to the camps. We knew exactly what she was talking about. She meant those camps. She did not mean summer camp. She did not mean water camp. She did not mean paintball camp. She meant gas camp. Yeah, bad camp. So when you run that, again, it allows the most evil people to do whatever they want. So that brings me to the dog thing. And again, it's hard to talk about because this is such a truly heinous story. When you go in, I can kind of from a 3,000 or 30,000 foot view give you the what I think is the reality of this. The reality is, I think dogs might be being used to abuse people in Palestinian prisons. It's so fucked. I read the article to to be fair to the Israeli people, it is very likely that there might have been hyperbole amongst the prisoners in an effort to get people to focus more on the mistreatment, the way that they are being abused. And if you look at some of the videos of people from the flotilla, of European whatever that tried to go and give aid to these people in, I think, the West Bank, and then the Irish Prime Minister's or President's sister, who gets out and is giving interviews after being allegedly abused by Israeli prison guards. That's a traumatized woman. That woman has PTSD. You don't fake that. I've seen actors try and fake, to one degree or another, PTSD. There are some really talented actors out there. It is almost impossible to really, really fake act PTSD without like multiple takes or a lot of rehearsal time, a lot of practice. And what I'm seeing from these people is classic PTSD. It's something really fucked up and bad happened to them. Seems like there's kind of a sexual abuse problem amongst Israeli people. We have all these guys that come over here, they do some stuff in the U.S. or for the U.S. or whatever, and then they end up having to leave the United States because they're like sexually harassing people, or they've got caught with a bunch of like CSAM. It's like, guys, it seems like there is a bigger problem here. Now we're going to put the hat back on because it's that time. Expert, read all about it. Because when you read the article, it is obvious. So sometimes it's important to see who's writing it. Now, this guy that wrote it, Nikolai Christoph, he is not an investigative journalist by trade, is my understanding. He is an opinion columnist and a writer. If you're the New York Times, strategically it's important to have a opinion writer write this article because there is not enough, I guess you could say, like smoking guns or security camera footage. Most of this is the word of a prisoner, which is to be taken with a grain of salt, and they might not be able to do the proper journalistic fact-checking on all these things. Was the dog abuse put in there or left in there or fabricated to amplify the actual wrongs and harms that are being done to these prisoners? Or is it real and it's so fucking wild and crazy that like it's kind of easier to believe that it's not happening than it is to even hold in your head that it might have happened or might be happening. So to give you some, but again, the thing that makes me think that something is happening is the response from Israel, is the way they are spending lots of money taking to the New York Times to a lawsuit, and as if they don't own the courts and many of the judges. Or, I mean, what's the joke? Get yourself a nice Jewish lawyer, they'll get you off. So what if the nation of Jews is now lawyering up? Are we going to expect that they're not going to pull some straight up legal wizardry to make certain things not have to enter discovery? Because one thing that I think you could say is this article was a way to goad Israel into suing the New York Times so that there would be some discovery. Do we really think that Israel or any country that's at war like this would be like 100% honest when it came to discovery? No. they're going to say much of what you are requesting for discovery is state secrets. State secrets of a state that's at war. We can't just give this up to you. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. Shoot. I think that's what's going to happen. But again, so we'll go to the tick thing that I keep seeing. Bill Gates is being lambasted online for releasing or allegedly releasing or being the top of the food chain or whatever for this operation to release ticks all over the United States that give people alpha-gal or what is the Lone Star tick carries? Lyme disease. Now, Lyme disease might be a bioengineered disease. That's a whole nother episode, whole nother rabbit hole. I did not do any research into it. I've just heard from enough people that there may or may not have been a program, allegedly, on 3 Mile Island or Plum Island, one of those two. I think it was Plum Island, back east in, I can't remember if it's near Boston or if it's near Philadelphia. And that was kind of the epicenter for this tick release, as they were bioengineering ticks and other animals to produce insane pathogens or diseases so that they could use it as a corruption factor for being at war. When you get into it, and I'll get into it another day, that has a lot more validity than it might seem. I know it sounds like a crazy conspiracy theorist bullshit, whatever, but then you get into it and you start looking at the facts and you go, oh, fuck, I think the U.S. government might have because here's the thing. I think a lot more weird fucking fucked up shit is when is Lyme disease a government release? I think just human error happens a lot of times, and something gets out or someone does something. But also, if you wanted to willingly experiment on a population without their consent, just say it happened accidentally. Just say, oh my God, what happened? All these ticks fell off the back of a bus and now they're biting everyone. Oh no, what are we going to do? Well, we might as well study it. Might as well study the effects and whatever it's happening on people. Because, come on, guys. Guys, really? Why wouldn't we take this opportunity? Got to make the best of a bad situation. Don't let a tragedy go to waste. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. Oh, gosh. My God. Why is Bill Gates spending millions of dollars to counteract that narrative? That's the biggest question I have when I come away with the tick thing. Why is the Bill Gates Foundation or whatever 3-letter agency is behind him or whatever PR agency that he's probably paying, I mean, at least 7 figures to, why are they spending so much money, time, effort, human hours to say that Bill Gates has nothing to do with this? That's suspicious to me. Because Bill Gates didn't say fucking shit when the Epstein files got released. I mean, he didn't say anything. He was just like, oh my God, oops. I mean, yeah, I just really like Russian hookers. Yeah, dude, me too. Have I ever been with one? No. There was that one ex-girlfriend, but she wasn't Russian. Long story. That said, young men and young women, if you happen to date a person that is trying really hard to be an Instagram model, break up with them. Break up with them before they start going to all the crazy parties, before they start getting in with all kinds of agencies or whatever. Just break up with them. Let them, if you love them, let them go. Because, yes, the world of sex work and how it overlaps with influencing is I mean, it's readily apparent. We see the OF everywhere. We see all these things that are just constantly being shoved down our throats because, hey, the goys need their slop. Come on, my fellow goyim, eat your slop. Watch your oodles and oodles of porn noodles. Wash it down with some delicious Olipop. Olipop does not sponsor, nor endorse any opinions on this podcast. So Bill Gates didn't, he just literally, we have so many photos of him with Epstein. We have flight logs that he went to the island. We have photos of the different pictures and things. Yeah, I'll check that out later. One annoying thing with Apple products is the way that everything is connected. And it's kind of seamless. It's kind of nice. It's useful for certain things, but there are times where it's like, why does everything have to give me a fucking notification when I get a text message? I don't like it. Bill Gates has spent more money trying to push off the fucking tick story than he did with the Epstein thing. Epstein had an email to himself where he basically went, now, Bill, all our friendship and all these things and blah, 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 blah. And I gave you the things for the good, monetization of video games. And you just needed me to get some antibiotics because you picked up a hitchhiker from the Russian hookers and you need to give it to your wife surreptitiously in her morning syrup. Just putting her pancakes on. A little bit of penicillin in the pancake syrup. Maybe it was the orange juice. I don't know if orange juice could mask that stuff, though. Whenever I hear that someone was like, oh, yeah, I took the medicine and I crushed it up and I mixed it into a thing, and I'm like, how the absolute fuck did you not immediately notice the taste difference? There are certain things that really have a distinct taste. Fucking antibiotics is one of them. Like, I've never, you let it sit in your mouth a little too long, or like any pill, and you're just like, and I have to tell myself, I am a big adult man. Medicine does not need to taste good, though that would be really nice. Hey, if you're like me, and you are raised on Juice Plus gummies and all these other gummies and vitamin thingies, now you're an adult and you walk down that supplement aisle. Tell me that you don't see all those gummies and you go, oh shit, I'll actually take those supplements if they in gummy form. If they know in gummy form, take them. The things I will do to get a little bit of monk fruit in my body. If you know, you know. So why so with the anti-settlement stuff in Israel and many Jewish people here in America saying there are no settlers that are stealing land from Palestine. That's just not happening. That's not happening. It's hard to know if that's a complete outright lie because we all see the videos. We've all seen a video of some settler going and basically kicking some poor Palestinian person off their land. That's that total war mindset that kind of allows evil people within your population to do whatever they want to people that they consider to be less than human. And yeah, that's human nature. That's going to happen with any group. It's going to happen throughout time and throughout history. It's probably going to happen again. It's happened so many times in the past. Look at, to use my own personal example, use the way the Armenians were looked at. That's where you get the Armenian question. And whenever I hear something like Ian Carroll or any of these other people when they go, the Jewish question, I'm like, stop. You are a shill. You do not know what you're talking about, and you do not know that you have just dog whistled one of the loudest whistles that there is for any ethnic cleansing. It is ethnicity question. That question almost always precedes very bad shit and has been historically used to justify very bad shit. So, but also, videos of people doing really evil, terrible shit is why people go, stop doing that. And then you don't believe me. So, these folks, they're not suing the New York Times or any other publication, to my knowledge at least, regarding the settlers' problem in West Bank, Gaza. They are suing the New York Times over this dog story. They are spending millions of dollars funding protests, immobilizing people, tons of man hours, tons of human hours, tons of propaganda being put forward to counter it. I mean, the Free Press is posting in overtime since that happened. I'd have bots and probably real people coming in to both like validate what I was saying, but then be like, oh, but really this is what happened in that video. And it's like, guys, this thing where you have this legalistic need to prove this in a courtroom provable way is not how life works, and it's not how most people think. And when you use overly legalistic means to try and convince someone that something that is happening is not actually happening, or it's not happening that way, I'm sorry, you're just stupid and you're misinterpreting it. When you are so pejorative and pandering to people, they tend to think that you're up to something. It's like an uncanny valley thing where it's like, you're not being forthright with me. You're being disingenuous. There's some duplicitous doublespeak here. That's fine. You're going to go about and do it. But you do know that every time you do this, it erodes people's trust of your group and what people like you have to say. So that said, the amount of pushback and some of the things they're saying are reasons why this couldn't happen, this abuse of dogs of prisoners, is false. Like, it just is. Like them saying that the mismatch of biology and, dogs can't ever abuse someone in that way, sexually. One of the worst or most infamous examples of the mistreatment of Jewish people during the Holocaust was the bitch of Buchenwald, Barbie, whatever the hell her name was, who cares, training her dogs to sexually assault Jewish prisoners. Pretty fucked up. And then you had Pinochet. There were others. Abu Ghraib, where dogs were used as tools of psychological warfare, essentially, and sometimes the, sexual abuse of the prisoners is part of that. And it's really disgusting and fucked up, but there's enough historical precedent for it that, unfortunately, the biology thing, that's out. Again, I don't feel good, being like, guys, I think this might be happening. No part of me is, happy about that or, rejoicing in this kind of, thing. I think it's disgusting and it's vile, and frankly, it's kind of like the Epstein files, where it's like, I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to be true. I don't want them to be talking about jerky in so many ways that it makes me think they're actually eating babies. I don't want that. I don't like any of that, because that means that this might actually be happening. I don't fucking want that. I don't want any of these people to be getting abused or predated upon in that way. It's fucking terrible. What are you gonna do? Look into it. Be an expert. Don't be in yeah. Do it. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. So yeah, them calling it, it's just blood libel myths and da 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 da. It's like, no, guys, the more you guys like act like this is not happening and there's no way it could be happening, the more that you are creating a Streisand effect out of this whole fucking mess. The Streisand effect, just so you know, is not some Muslim Brotherhood thing, which I was accused of in the comment section. Which is, I mean, dude, I'm not an Islamist. My grandfather got exiled from his home country of Iraq because he would not join the Muslim Guard. I'm here because my grandfather was just like, no, fuck this stupid bullshit. This is all fucking real backwards. I'm leaving. I'm just leaving. He was a devout Orthodox Armenian Christian. Now I'm being called an Islamist because I'm like, hey guys, there's some holes in your argument here that are glaring and deep and so legitimately chasmous wide that I'm kind of thinking what they're accusing you of might actually be real. Like there might be more to that than just, it's a fabrication. Really? Fabricated out of whole cloth? And then instead of, say, ignoring it, you're spending how much money? Millions upon billions? Maybe not billions, but surely millions of dollars organizing the protests, organizing the people, paying out the bot farms, paying out the propagandists, paying out the IDF people and or the resources that they are using to say, fuck with my Instagram. Because my Instagram is acting in a way that is fair. Like I've watched some videos on how to tell if your shit's been hacked, if your stuff has like watchdog programs on it. Yeah, I've had watchdog programs run on my phone. I've had watchdog programs run on my iPad. I've had watchdog programs run on my Instagram. My Instagram doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't. It was working fine 3-4 weeks ago before I argued with the bots in the Zionist press. Apparently, I'm an anti-Semite. I've made too many Jewish women orgasm to be an anti-Semite. Clip it. Put that out. AI, if you're coming in to clip some of these things, put it out. Clip that one. I have made too many Jewish women come to be an anti-Semite. Also, y'all, look at me. If camps come back into vogue, you really think any actual white supremacist or anyone that's like truly anti-Semitic is going to look at me and think not Jew? Like, guys, come on. That's why I find this so silly. It's because like I feel like on some level I'm also on the hook for some of this bullshit. But whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Again, remember my grandmother got hidden in the actual Holocaust from the actual SS because she actually looked Jewish. So if that happens in America, guys, I'm fucked. Modern Palantir, all these other things that they have to point to everyone. Also, guys, Israel. The soft power banking aristocratic European type moneyed families that have a vested interest in off-gassing all of our American rabble, anger and frustration onto the Jews and the Semitic peoples, you're playing into that. You're acting like the kid in the passenger seat, riding shotgun, holding the aux cord, blasting whatever he wants on the aux cord, pretending to drive the car, yelling at the kids in back, hey, sit on your hands. And meanwhile, the driver is next to them. The driver is not Jewish, not Israeli, might be Zionist, but that's a different thing because there are people in this world who are master chess players and are fully capable at playing that 4D chess that we all like to think Trump plays. No, Trump's a fucking pawn on the chessboard of the people who actually play the chess game. Shit, I might be here like kind of sort of working for one. But then again, if you're in any big money industry, like you work for private equity, you work for the people that are the actual driver of the car. Yeah, you just are. And so all these people that are like, oh God, oh, look at Israel, they control everything in the United States and they're controlling all our people and our politicians. It's like, yeah, that's part of the game. They want you to be very frustrated with Israel right now because it means you're not frustrated at your own country's banking like ownership class. Duh. You should be more frustrated at that than at that. Period. If we were more frustrated at that, we would vote better and we would have a better understanding at the foreign money influence that is going on with AIPAC or Kufi or any of these other like Zionist pack things that have less to do with Israel state-wise and more to do with like Israel philosophically. That's being put forward by this banking class. And again, there is someone else driving the car of the country. It is not Israel. Israel has a little tyke thing. Beep, 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 beep. But they do have real control of the aux cord. That's real. So, but the thing, I mean, we all just got to go with vibes off this. Like, what are the vibes? The vibes are fucked. I mean, that's about it. The vibes are fucked. So then we get into the retard maxing of it all. Just shut up and focus. Shut up and focus. Fucking Mark Andreessen. Just like a retard maxing. You just got to do whatever. And you'd like to be part of the douchebags and that don't have a mind of the best interest at heart. It's like, guys, the people that actually kind of run the ship, they want you to retard max. They want you to do this circumcised version of Stoicism that removes you from your community, which is why it's important for you to remain stoic so that you can continue to be a pillar for your community, not lose yourself to an emotional outburst that gets you stabbed. Again, you need to understand that about Stoicism, period. That's why I think it's a slightly flawed philosophy for us to adopt in the modern age, is because it was about making sure that you don't get fucking stabbed because you got upsetty spaghetti. That's Stoicism in a nutshell. But also that you were doing it so that you could be there for your family, for your clan, for your people, for your village, for your nation, for your, and do the civil things. That's why the Stoicism. So just me focus on me and my only things and don't do any of that. It's a hollow form of Stoicism. It's a controlled form of Stoicism. It's a corporate approved form of Stoicism because it also removes you from your own like predator detection system, which is basically my gut is telling me that something is just fucking off. I don't like the way I'm being treated by the people above me. I don't like the way my government is treating me, my politicians, and the way they're speaking to me. I don't like the way this foreign money is involved in my country. Shut up and retard max, you fucking idiot. Shut up. You're being a loser. And I don't have time to go into all those things. I'll shoot something here maybe tomorrow morning. But, this whole, like, radical self-accountability thing, I mean, it's good on some level. It's genuinely good advice. Like, be accountable to your life. But the radical self part, it's like, no, that removes other people from their own shitty actions, and it forces you or I, who's trying to be accountable, to sort of gaslight ourselves out of our like natural gut instinct for when we're being fucked over. Right? I mean, the most human thing you can do is find a nice hill to die on that's got a view. We continue to grow the pod. We move things. Hi, hello, welcome back. And this has been another ramble. I hope you're well. And dead air is the sexiest kind of air, and I love you, thank you, and maybe I don't know you, but woo. got to find a way to have more fun with this, I must say. And me screaming about this and bullshit, I will spend so much time working on a thing and then just completely like never get to it in the time. So maybe I do have to start doing some sort of longer form live upload thing, because whenever I do a live, or the last, but here's the thing, I tried to do a live. It didn't work. It didn't work, and it still doesn't work. And even though I am doing everything that the instructions are telling me, it just won't fucking work. So I need someone who knows what they're doing to look into it, because right now I'm trying not to be weird conspiratorial, like fucking, thinking the eye of Sauron is on me. But I'm having so many actual like weird technical issues and just hiccups and glitches with all my shit. Randomly, my phone will just start recording. I'm not touching the record button. I'm touching something on the opposite side of the screen to the record button, and it's recording all the time. Much ado about nothing. All right. Much love, y'all. Hope you have a good weekend ahead. Peace, love, and watch out for propaganda.